then we're picking it back up. Hopefully I can get the rest of the game done, or most of it. But right here, I believe we're just gonna get a cutscene. Oh, I almost missed that.
My father would wish that you hold your tears, girls. He lived a long life, and as the poet says, like a clock worn out with eating time, the wheels of weary life at last stood still.
So, the Infernal Train is right below us. But we are almost there. As you can see, our little child friends have been abducted, let's say. There's another memory there, but we're not gonna bother. And look who has invaded the deepest reaches here. Oh, thanks, camera. I almost fell off there. Just gonna take a slow walk here.
Am I not the most wretched and selfish of fortune's fools? Oblivious, I live in a training ground for prostitutes. My mentor is an abuser and purveyor. I've been complicit with my sister's murderer and the killer of my family as he corrupted my mind. I sought relief from my pain and you turned me away from the truth.
You are almost there, almost free from what you fear. You could have been cured. You could have forgotten.
Abandon the memory of my family.
They are dead, and you should be too.
You misbegotten abomination! Murderer! You blood-sucking parasite! The damage you've done to children! The abuse!
I provide a service. In the great and awful metropolis, appetites of all sorts must be gratified.
My family! My mind! The Infernal Train!
The train is your invention, your defense. I merely set its schedule and itinerary. The train is coming with its shiny cars, with comfy seats and wheels of stars. So hush, my little ones, have no fear. The man in the moon is the engineer.
I'll stop that train, if it's the last thing I do.
As you wish, it will be. You're lost, and where your body is, your mind will follow. Perhaps it's already there.
So, we're thrust back into the real world, let's say. Look, there's a child with a number. So you can see the Bumby's little clinic is a little bit more sinister than you would have probably guessed at this point. Alice has pretty much spilled the beans on what's the real motive of getting all these children to forget their past and just be husks of their former selves, let's say. Look who it is over here.
You oozing sore of depravity! Children wearing their names around their necks as if they're breeding livestock!
A declaration of their pedigree. You could use one. They're proud to display their provenance.
You brute! They can't remember who they are or where they're from. How many minds have you twisted into forgetfulness?
Not enough. Yours would have been a triumph. Still, you're an insane wreck. My work is done.
And we're here at the Infernal Train. So, I'm gonna do a quick cut here because I wanted to show you guys the memories along with, I'm actually gonna switch the dress because we're back to the original dress. But just so we can show off some of the other stuff, I will be switching to one of the other dresses and activating all the different weapons. So, give me a moment here, I'll meet you guys at the main menu. So, the dress I decided to use for this boss fight, I could have used this one just to be cheap and basically not die. I could have used this one to just have Hysteria forever. I could have used this one to just have double damage the whole fight and make it quicker. This one just to make it more challenging, which I'm not gonna use. This one's useless, it's more of an exploration thing. And we could have gone with some of the other dresses. Like for example, if we use this one, we're actually only have 4 health. And there's some other ones that are good for like grinding or making sure we stay alive. But we will actually go with this one. Not really for its effect, I just like how it looks. And also it gives Alice nice purple eyes. Anyways, we're gonna switch on all our weapons here. As you can see, we actually take half damage, so if we combine this with the other one, with the, I forget which one it is, the chest one, we would actually take less damage and do double damage. We have ammo limit increases, this one regens our health when each hit. So we're just gonna go with this. But before we keep going, we're gonna go to the memories. We're gonna start with the Alice memories. Oops, not the Alice ones, oops. These are, we already seen all these, I think. Yeah, because these are all the, yeah, all the ones for the doors. But we're gonna start with Bumpy here.
A flower's purpose is simple and immutable. Human purpose is fickle, because it is a slave to memory. Memories must be strictly managed, Alice. Unproductive ones must be eliminated. The railway running through Wonderland sounds charming, but inefficient. Noise and smoke, like snips and snails, perhaps. Best to forget that train. A mock turtle as conductor? Oh, no, I don't think that will do at all.
So we're gonna go in order here, starting with Bumpy. We already took through 2 of them.
Some insects eat their young, Alice. They have much to teach us, alive or dead.
And I realize some of these might be repeats, but we'll just go through all of them.
Grave news. The ship was crushed and her crew lost. She was not built for navigating the Arctic ice fields. The recent competition of governments in fitting out polar expeditions is a needless waste of human life. Unpleasantness, remote in time and space, has only as much power as vivid memory offers it. Keep troubles and torments at a distance where they may be easily forgotten.
What Nurse Witless said was, the fire whooshed in, lit her up like the guy on Cracker Night. No one knows how she survived except Alice, and she's stum, remember?
Flush the unpleasant from your mind, Alice. Reject the painful as you would the repulsive and depraved. Forgetting is an art.
So as you can see at this point, he's getting a little bit more desperate about shutting off any memory of her family.
Lovers often exchange a lock of hair to symbolize their vows. The human heart is opened by a vast assortment of keys. Light? Light is useless if what it illuminates causes pain and suffering. Better to cast such things into the dark depths of Lethe, the river of forgetfulness. Balance is the golden mean of all things, Alice, between light and dark, between disease and health, or even between wrong and right. Everything has a season, Alice. A flower blooms and fades away. Memories, too, have a useful life. We should eliminate the ones that hurt. Damaged people feed on the emotions of others, Alice, their strengths and weaknesses. The proofs are legion. Every creature has a purpose. It is my sacred duty to fit every young person to a calling, be it for ornament or use. Read your history. Read your mythology.
All purposes, huh?
Every child has a purpose. It is the beholden duty of knowing adults to fit every young person to her calling. Remaking children. Build them up, tear them down, refashion them. Teach them the new, forget the old.
So yeah, as we go through Bumby's memories here, his lessons are really damning, let's say. But to the family memories. Actually, we'll save those for a little later. There are a lot of them.
It could have happened that way, Alice. You remember poor Mr. Crook died, didn't he? Dr. Wilson rejects spontaneous combustion, but I trust Mr. Dickens. I know you hear me, you contrary child. Use the bedpan and let go of that wretched rabbit. So I says to Dr. Bumby, I says, model making's all fine and good, but a waste of a perfectly good bottle. I could fill it with gin for threepence. Skin burned by fire or scalded by steam looks wrinkled like a toadstool in winter. Certain smells are one-off. You'd never mistake burning human flesh for roasting a lamb chop. Born in the wrong century I was, Alice. Picture me, Madame Dufarge, knitting away as deserving heads roll from the guillotine. Ah, those were good days. Dr. Wilson's not fooled, Alice. Discipline must be maintained. Cleanliness is optional. Whatever you've imagined about electrical current, it's not half of it. It can be a persuasive teacher, strict mind, demanding. There's a tool for every task. Even the humble funnel has a special job. How would you get gin from a barrel into a bottle?
So yeah, Pris is a bit unhinged, and she was, I believe she was a nurse in the asylum. I think. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Look how small she's become, all curled up. She's barely there, a vixen in her hidey-hole. Flight or fight implies a permanent choice, but flight often just means putting off the fight to another day. Choose your battles wisely, Alice. Alice was often alone, an interior and lonesome child, I suspect. Her sister, though loving and much loved, was too old to be a playmate. It's been years now, Alice. Time to put away childish things. Epidermis was singed to the third layer, and the rest of her skin was as brittle as carp scales. Pets are friends and our secret selves, Alice. Your rabbit, too. I'm sure Dinah was a confidant. Always about, wasn't she? She is certainly ill. She imagines odd things, and she has a hero complex, an inherent desire to help others, being unable to help herself. and a compulsion to make the world right. She's trying to unlock the true meaning of her life, and she doesn't know who has the key. Games too require hard choices. Unpleasant sacrifices must often be made to accomplish a desired goal. Food looms large in your dreams, Alice, but cake occupies a special place. Never rejected dessert, I suspect, nor tea if cake was on offer. As beloved toys are to children, children often are to grown-ups, objects of fancy and imagination and eventually discarded. The gulf separating effective treatment from quackery is narrower than professional opinion would admit. Likewise, the distance between knowledge and ignorance. The signs of the body's illness or infirmity are obvious compared to those of the diseased mind. And the cures? How and when a broken leg heals is clear. Can one heal a broken mind? How does one know if it's healed?
Yeah, so Dr. Wilson's just giving medical opinion and a bunch of other stuff.
Finish your soup, girls. Bovine juveniles gave their all for it. Everyone knows the mischief began among your father's mountain of paper, Alice. The real question is how. Pris Witless never saw a bottle of gin she couldn't empty in an hour. Do most anything for thruppence and a long taste of blue ruin. If you spent as much time practicing as you do in Wonderland, you'd be the next Sullivan or Gilbert or one of them. Radcliffe asked me in just the once. Odd duck. Very proud of his artifacts. Ming, I think he said. And partial to Tokugawa, Japan. Doesn't seem the samurai type, but perhaps that's why. Every picture tells a story. You wouldn't tolerate a book without pictures when you were a girl. It's well known that he who eats with the devil must have a very long spoon.
And finally we have Radcliffe, who will examine the bodies.
The industry thrives on suffering, obsolescence, and ruination, Alice. It's made the East End into a privy. Consider a simple farm life in Australia, perhaps. We might liquidate what remains of your inheritance. Scoundrel was fitted with grotesque headgear. If I have ever owned an accessory that unseemly, I'd burn it. Destroy all evidence of it and deny its existence. I value my reputation. Not burned beyond recognition, as I recall. It was the smoke, you see. One day you'll be joining them in the Oxford family vault, I imagine. Odd indeed. Unusual, perhaps. Even extraordinary. But nearly nothing is unique, Alice. Yours was not the first brick home to be destroyed by fire. Catastrophe may strike even the best regulated families, Miss Little. Of course, one family's disaster may be another family's opportunity. And the same goes for a surviving family member, if you know what I mean. Whoever said true art serves neither ornament nor use is ignorant of the aesthetic of the East. A dutiful, honorable daughter would commemorate her deceased family in marble. I know a gifted sculptor with whom I might negotiate a commission.
So, honestly, Radcliffe, the only really thing he cared about was the inheritance Alice was gonna get.
The conflagration's point of origin was obvious. First, the library caught fire, and it spread disastrously when the gas line exploded. I do support the monarchy, in principle. I'm sure the Queen is very good at what she does, whatever that is. But is she not a person, just like ourselves? Lovely service, beautiful music, closed caskets, though I'm told your sister could have shown to advantage. The flames never got to her. I was required to identify your family in the Oxford morgue. Your sister was completely recognizable. I can't say the same for your parents. The undiscovered guilty and the wronged innocent share similar fates. Prisons and chains have many forms.
Ironic, isn't it? But anyways, now we'll go through all the family memories. A lot of these tend to take way in the past, but it does give you some insight, and you'll see why.
You're part frog, Alice, I swear. You jump so well. If you leap from that table again, Alice, I'll expire. You're 2 times too reckless, my girl.
Amanita muscaria, Alice, is merely a stinky toadstool. A spongy consistency, but poisonous.
I'll never have more fun alone than when I rode the big slide in Hyde Park. Papa will take you soon, Alice.
Lizzie, remember when a burst of steam blew your dress up around your neck? Just outside Harrods it was. Fortunate your undergarments had been laundered.
My heart is open, Alice. Never closed. Never locked. It needs no key.
Bricks are rocks, Alice. A brick house, like Gibraltar, is impervious to fire, weather, and the indecencies of Barbary macaques, should the need arise.
We'll all roast in our beds, Alice, for the sake of your father's unnatural devotion to printed paper. This hoard of flammables wants only a malignant spark and poof, our flesh and blood is smoke and ash.
Not something I would tell my child, but it is a concerning thing.
With gas laid on, Alice, we'll go to Brighton on what we save on beeswax, candles and oil. Remember, Alice, don't curse the darkness or the cold when you're in the library at night.
Cover its cage and the canary goes to sleep, Alice. Out like a snuffed candle. Sleeps the sleep of the just. Like Mama and Papa. After 10, they're unconscious. Papa, your enthusiasm for photography makes the library smell like rotted fruit. I'm certain these solutions are toxic.
Whoever said there is no book so bad but something good may be found in it never read Martin Farquhar Tupper's proverbial philosophy.
I'm pleased you love my sea creatures, Alice. Photographs are a kind of imitation. A great painter captures a true likeness. The camera helps an amateur come close.
Most theatricals and gaffs are unsuitable for young persons. Punch and Judy dust-ups are no more than vulgar domestic arguments.
Whoever destroys a soul destroys the world. There is much wisdom in that, Alice.
I've smoked a cigarette, Alice. No fun at all. One day I'll try a clay pipe. Poor Dodgson is a pathetic sailor and an even worse captain. We'd have run aground on the Isis if I hadn't taken an oar.
We'll keep just the one lamp, Alice, as a nightlight, but it stays in the upstairs hall and only till you turn 12. Music soothes the savage in us, Alice. Practice. The piano's for more than holding down the carpet.
When Papa grounded me, I climbed down the trellis. The tree branch makes a bridge, and it's not much of a drop. Keep our secret, Alice, or we're not sisters.
Yeah, so, Alice's sister was a bit of a troublemaker at times, it seems.
Fire, Alice! Fire!
Save yourself! Wake up, Lizzie! Lizzie! Open the door!
The key, Lizzie! Unlock the door! You'll burn! Regrettably, the creature has to die for its image to be properly captured. The subjects of art often suffer.
Claimed I'd stolen his heart. Trifling with his affections. Creepy sod. Touching me. Told Papa to never invite him to tea again.
I wonder who it was.
No bearskin rug before the hearth, no deer antlers on the wall, no taxidermic abominations in the house. Demeans the creature's dignity. A weapon's intended function is almost beside the point. Ultimately, it's only as good as the person who wields it.
A locked room is little more than a cage. A prison by another name. I despise concealment of any kind.
Help us, Alice! Save us, Alice! Don't leave us alone, Alice! Don't abandon us, Alice! Stay with us!
Once the bounder followed me into the ladies at Waterloo Station. I had to call the attendant. His hand was slimy, Alice, like an eel from the Isis. And his name won't help. Bumby. If he ever qualifies, his bedside manner will require improvement.
So right here it was name dropped, so from what you can kind of piece together, Bumby had a bit of a thing for Alice's sister.
You're not a cat, my dear. One life is your allotment. Please be more careful with the carving knife.
All those undergraduates waiting for a word from Papa. Might I hold the tea cosy, sir? Might I pour, sir? Bunch of toadies.
My father would wish that you hold your tears, girls. He lived a long life, and as the poet says, like a clock worn out with eating time, the wheels of weary life at last stood still.
I'm no toy. He wanted me to do things I didn't want to do.
And yeah. But anyways, now with all the pieces in place, I will see you guys back at the Infernal Train. So give me a moment here. And we're back. New dress and weapons along with it. There's a couple more cutscenes we'll go through, but for the most part, as you can tell, Bumby's real reason for killing Lizzie was because she didn't return his affection, let's say.
Hatter, I must stop this infernal train and the evil force that drives it.
Everything's a nail, is it, Miss Hammerhead? First it was all search, freighted with fear and fragmented memories. Now it's the train. Never time for tea. While your brain's on holiday, we're ruined. Now we're all mad here, and that's a good excuse for going to hell in a teapot, but not for forgetting what your senses saw. Forgetting is just forgetting, except when it's not. Then they call it something else. I'd like to forget what you did. I've tried, but I can't.
You've used me and abused me, but you will not destroy me.
No, the damage is done. The old Alice and her Wonderland retreat are demolished. You can't even recognize what's happened, and you're powerless to change it or move against me. I've made certain of that. Come to receive your punishment, then?
I know I'm guilty of something, but punishment never suits the victims of the crime.
Abuse is a crime the strong visit on the weak. And you're right, abusers are insufficiently punished for the damage they do. Those who witness abuse without seeking retribution for the harmed pay a penalty. Your own pain mitigates your failure to act earlier, but you may not yet have paid enough for witnessing the pain of others.
So, Alice kind of feels guilty at this point for just being not necessarily willingly turning a blind eye to what Bumby was doing, but she was too lost in her mind to realize it. And we got one more person to talk to before we get to the end.
You corrupted my memories, but you failed to make me forget.
I could have made you into a tasty bit. Clients out the door waiting for a piece from a raving, delusional beauty with no memory of the past or no sense of the future. But you wouldn't forget. You insisted on holding on to your fantasies. You're mad, like your sister.
Don't speak of her. You didn't know her.
Your sister was a tease, pretended to despise me. She got what she wanted in the end.
My Lizzie, what is this train's destination?
Madness and destruction. You shouldn't ask questions you know the answer to. It's not polite. And that noise wasn't Lizzie talking in her sleep.
Oh, no. Oh, poor Lizzie.
And there are no centaurs in Oxford. Make your survival mean something, or we are all doomed!
So, I'm not gonna spill it, but I'm pretty sure you can connect the dots after what happened. Anyways, let's get to the conductor's seat, shall we? And we're here. we actually have a boss fight here. The only one in the game.
The past must be paid for. Of forgetting is
So yeah, basically dodge the attacks and smack the crap out of the hand. Come on. Ow. There we go.
make-believe Avenger.
Ah, dang it. I dodged that, dang it. Come on, let me go.
I'll see you charged. In prison, some half-wit bruiser will make you his sweetheart, and then you'll hang.
Indeed. A hysterical woman, former lunatic, roaring outrageous accusations against a respectable social architect and scientist. My God, Alice, who would believe you? I scarcely believe it myself.
You, monstrous creature. Such evil will be punished.
By whom? By what? Psychotic, silly bitch. Your madness will be punished. Now leave. I'm expecting your replacement.
So it looks like Wonderland is restored. But at what cost? Oh, that's not the way to go.
Ah, Alice. We can't go home again. No surprise, really. Only a very few find the way, and most of them don't recognize it when they do. Delusions, too, die hard. Only the savage regard the endurance of pain as the measure of worth. Forgetting pain is convenient. Remembering it, agonizing. But recovering the truth is worth the suffering. And our Wonderland, though damaged, is safe in memory for now.
And with that, we are done with this game. There's speculation though about the ending right there, because if you notice, Alice switched to her Wonderland outfit before she pushed Bumby to the train. So some people speculated that that just happened in her mind. I more on the camp that she actually did do it. The manifestation of her dress wasn't really like she actually like changed into it, but rather that Bumby like saw her madness actually come out and it scared him. And she actually did push him into the train. But anyways, I'll leave you guys pondering that, and maybe you can look stuff up if it interests you. I may or may not decide to play through the first game. It is definitely a lot longer, and I would say actually also more difficult because there's multiple bosses in this game, and that game, sorry. On the flip side though, while I definitely enjoy the combat more on this game, the lack of boss fights and the repetitiveness of the combat definitely toned the game down on the scale, let's say, because it's a solid game, but it's not a game that would be earning any sort of amazing praise. The aesthetics are really nice. That's probably one of the few things I really like about this game, along with the story. It's a very dark take on Alice, as you already have experienced so far. The first game is even darker in a lot of regards. So this is a game, well, that I consider one of my more favorite cult classics, I guess. Not a 9 or a 10, maybe not even an 8. Solid 7, maybe even a 6 if I'm feeling kind of critical, I guess. But otherwise, still enjoyable game no matter what. But I'll let the credits roll, and I will see you guys on my next project, which will be starting pretty soon. So I hope you enjoyed this game, and thanks for watching.